Here is a Bay Breeze branded 12-inch oscillating desk fan. This is a Shell product, Shell Electric, or what later would either become, or all the patents got sold to, or something. Somehow it became connected with Medea in early to mid 2000s. This one is labeled Shell Electric on the bottom. So this would be the pre-Medea involvement. So this has got to be either, I would say, 2002 or older. It is model TF-12, 0.25 amps, made in the China. That's a very low power draw. Shell Electric Manufacturing Holdings Company Limited. I have no idea what Bay Breeze is. I've never heard of that brand before. I guess maybe it was a store brand. And the logo is a busted umbrella. I need some oil. I suppose because the umbrella stand bent because the breeze is so strong. So this is, it's not the same. There's a bunch of differences compared to the TH-12. So there is the TH-12 over there. The blade shape is slightly different. The leading edge is more curved, whereas on this one the leading edge is straight and then pointed. And I remember seeing this blade set on a fan, another SMC fan that different relative had, and I remember thinking the blade just looked so weird because all my life I had been looking at the at least I think is that the model TH-12 that just showed? Let me check so that we don't have something inaccurate. While I've got it out, I might as well just bring it over to the video here. So this is the model TH-12. There's the informations. And this one is also 0.25 amps. So that's TH-12. And this one is TF-12. So these are very similar era fans. And this one was originally purchased by my grandparents. I remember my grandfather always using this. He had this for as far back as I can remember. And so this is the one that I remember when I was growing up. It's the exact instance of it. It's not just the same model. It is the one. And so you can see the blade is kind of more curved, whereas this one is pointed. And I remember seeing one of these that a different relative had with that blade set, and it just looked so bizarre to me. Also, this one does not have the ring around the guard, which makes it quite a bit more sturdy. This is kind of flimsy without it. I suspect inside these are more or less the same thing. And you can see even the button arrangement is very similar. It's pretty much the same fan under different branding. Although from the back they do look considerably different. This one in fact looks nothing like a Shell or Medea product from the back. This is what they typically look like. This one, unfortunately, the thing is kind of stripped out, so that needs some repair. But this is what they usually look like, and this is totally out of the ordinary for what these fans typically look like. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one back over here. That's all it needed to show on that for this video. And we're going to go ahead and turn on this Bay Breeze and see if it really can bend an umbrella stand. This, to me, this seems like it was very poorly molded on the back here. It kind of looks like it's almost like these vents were supposed to be open. You see, it's like the plastic didn't mold quite right or something there. I think what I'm going to do is if I ever open this up for service at some point, this has already been serviced, so there's no reason to right now, but I think I might take the motor cover off and take a razor and slice open those vents, because it really seems like those are supposed to be open. And we definitely want to get as much airflow through there as possible. Interestingly enough, this also has vents here at the top, which is unusual. And you can see the motor is right there. And actually there's a decent amount of venting on the bottom, and I'm pretty sure it's the same story here. I don't see why this shouldn't all be cut out. You can see it started to be cut out there, and it's like a molding defect or something. I don't know. I suppose we need to see another one of these to get a better idea of how it's supposed to be, but I think it's unlikely to find another one of these. So this one, I guess it's a fair bit different than the TH-12, because this has a clicking adjustment, whereas the TH-12 has the screw. And it's like an infinite range. The plug is not polarized, so it probably goes back into the 90s. The TH-12, I would say, has got to be at least as old as I am, because I don't remember that thing ever surfacing. I just remember it was always there. I mean, as far back as I can remember, that thing was there. I know it was around at the same time as the Lasco oscillating fans, which I believe those are from '98. So I'm pretty sure that TH-12 is got to be almost 30 years old, or more. I don't know. This one I would guess is pretty much around the same era. I don't know what kind of plastic this is, but this has held up over time very well. The paint on the guard has actually started to yellow, and the plastic is still presumably in the original color that it came in, as opposed to turning yellow or some other cream color as it ages. Like, see, this is made of a different type of plastic. I'm just noticing that this housing is not sitting in there quite right. That probably happened on the way home. I think that's fixed good enough. Alright, so let's see how this runs. This is another fan. The TH-12 is another fan I could identify the sound of, by ear immediately, just because I have spent so many years listening to it run. So I'm curious to see if this one will sound the same, or how much different it is because of the way the blade shape is. As of now, we have 118.6 volts. Move over to the amps. The oscillation knob is extremely thin on the bottom. Let's start up on the low. No, something's wrong here. Sounds like the blade is loose on the shaft or something. It is. Another thing I forgot to mention that I noticed earlier is that the badge has the same kind of wavy logo as the SMC TH-12 and all the other SMC branded fans. All they did was change the printing of the umbrella. Alright, now that the blade is tightened, let's try again. much better. And it actually does sound very similar. And wow, it's actually quite strong. I think that it might actually be more powerful than the TH-12. I could feel this clear across the room, even just on the low. It kind of looks to me like the blade pitch is a little bit steeper than the TH-12. That's pretty good pitch. That's almost as good as the that's almost as good as like the translucent blade models. That's really deep pitch. And it looks like the blade is in good condition too. I don't see any warpage to it at all. It looks perfectly correct. Unfortunately, as some of these fans reach 30 to 40 years old, we're starting to see a lot of blades warping. Now finally somebody made a video showing how to fix it. So I'm going to watch that video and maybe I'll be able to start fixing these warped blades. But it's still unfortunate either way that the blades are doing that. Because I really wonder how long a fix on the plastic blades would really hold. I would guess maybe a year or two at most. I don't know. Anyways, let's see what the power information is. It sounds so similar to the TH-12. And it's in really good balance too. Just ever so slightly out. I would say well within a reasonable margin of error. On low we have 0.22 the amps, 25 the watts, with a power factor of 0.95. So it is a shaded, it's a PSC motor. Sticker is coming off a little bit on the bottom. I haven't ran the TH-12 in a while. I'm enjoying this sound. It brings back a lot of summer memories. Yep, it sounds just like the TH-12. Alright, let's try the medium. Yeah, that's quite powerful. Well, the TH-12 is powerful too, but I think this has an edge on it. That is 0.23 the amps, 27 the watts, with a power factor of 0.98. The high at 0.26 the amps, 31 the watts, with a power factor of 1 on the nose. It's kind of rare to see a power factor of solid 1 with a motor like this. This is really quite powerful. I'm thoroughly impressed by this. And I know these are good fans, but I just wasn't expecting it to be quite this strong. This is very powerful. Still got a strong breeze clear across the room. It's quite good. Quite good performance. Let's see if the articulation works. Balance is still reasonable even on high. The oscillation even makes the same scratching noises that the TH-12 does. I remember that when I used to sleep over there, I would use the TH-12 in the bedroom, and it would be on oscillation low, usually at night, and I remember hearing those, the scratching sound of the plastic gear up against the metal worm here on the end of the shaft.